Hello, it's me, RJB, and today we've got some light against HamburgerSasu. I don't think I've casted this set before, but we'll have to wait, see, and find out if I have or haven't. And maybe it could even be fun to just recast a series that I did in my early days, because I think that in my early days I wasted a lot of very good replays by being too inexperienced with casting. And well, some of those replays I might want to do again, given I think and believe that I've grown quite a bit, and I'm now able to bring you these matches in way higher quality casting than I did back in the day. And of course, in addition to that, I also have a microphone that doesn't suck. Although, I do have to admit, my, I think it's called the eyeball or the snowball microphone is not as good as my Yeti microphone, which I used to be casting with, but some slight compromises had to be made. Anyway, to look at the match itself, Light here on the blue Terran in the top corner up against HamburgerSasu here on the bottom middle of the map. This should be interesting, because Light, as we all know, is one of the best Starcraft players of all time. And in recent years, he's been having a lot of success, and is considered to be currently the second best Terran player of all time. Even though, of course, he doesn't have the achievements of a lot of the older players, his level of play is second only to Flash, or so it is believed, although you could also argue it is second to Queen as well. He's definitely in the current top 3 of StarCraft players within the pro scene. And whether that translates to his fastest map ability, that's something we'll have to wait and see. Because one thing we can determine for sure is that he is a brilliantly smart player with an absolutely insane sense and understanding of the game and its intricacies. This guy will find a way. Although, one of the things I've seen in the past, which he's pretty weak at, which is a skill you don't really develop playing the normal maps, is keeping these workers alive. So we are looking at a +1 Nexus build order here from HamburgerSasu, of course, followed up by a Forge and a Choke and a Gateway there as well. 2 casts now starting up, and he's scouting the map with that probe while trying to force this SV to keep moving around in his base. Because Light is getting information. Light also very wisely sees that there is no units out on the map for HamburgerSasu, which means, of course, that he can start building those 2 command centers right after his first one. Only has 2 Marines, but you only need 2 Marines really if there's no Zealots on the map for your opponent. We've got a Zealot there on the way though, which is going to probably scout the side spots here on the map. But we're not looking at any danger coming in for Light anytime soon. Nor will Light pose a danger to HamburgerSasu anytime soon either, because he only has 4 Marines as I've mentioned before, but he also only has 2 barracks, which really doesn't give him much punching power. He's mostly just focusing on getting rich quick. Richer than HamburgerSasu will be in the near future, because HamburgerSasu will only have that single Nexus Pro production in addition to his original Nexus, but he will have his tech on the way, and in about 5 or 6 minutes, well, probably 6:30 into the game actually, he will have some real punching power to start hitting at Light. Light, though, is trying to keep that Marine out of his base. He's not overextending, though. He's keeping his Marines in a very nice position. There's no way for that probe to get in. He's also not going to overreach and put his Marines into an overextended position where they might get cut out by Zealots that HamburgerSasu might have. HamburgerSasu has only, at the moment, Robos on the way and a Citadel off the Dune. There's no gateways coming in yet. He's mostly just focusing on getting the gas and getting himself the minerals to build a shuttle and a support bay as well. And probably a couple more cannons here in the front, just in case Lights want to be aggressive. Because HamburgerSasu does not know, just has no information on what Light is up to and doing. 2 Zealots are moving out here though, ready to look for something to do. But they won't find much to do. Although, right now, right here, all the Marines are just now splitting up into every single direction, trying to get the vision of those side spots there to give himself a bigger buffer zone and information on what HamburgerSasu is sending out over the map towards his base. He added on another barracks, and he hasn't started a factory yet, because his gas was quite late, and he wanted to get Marine weapon upgrade first, and Stim upgrade there as well. 31 SCVs there, and for HamburgerSasu, we're looking at 37, soon to be 40. Support bay is finished. We don't see the Templar's Archive because he wants to go for Zealot speed first, which also, of course, necessitates that he builds more gateways and produces more Zealots. 4 gateways there in total, 2 Reavers there are on the way. He's slowly keeping his Zealots alive, clearing out the sides there for Light, so that Light cannot see any shuttles coming in. But I do think HamburgerSasu is going to go for a frontal attack, which might just get some results, because the tanks from Light are very, very late. The Fracture has not yet finished. It's mostly just building. He's getting turrets on the side, so he has complete vision of his entire base, but not on the hills. He has a wall there in the front to keep units out, so the Zealots are going to have to try to fight through those depots first. That's also why you get those double Reavers. So the Reavers can do that from a safe distance, after which the Zealots run through and try to wreak havoc. Marines very nicely placed to intercept one turret there at the command center for Dark Templar, but also to kill the shuttle once it arrives here, so it doesn't stay hanging in the air, building bunkers to put Marines into. Zealots have just finished speed, are running cross map, he's waiting for more Zealots to spawn, and the shuttle is flying very close behind, ready to arrive on the scene and start hammering away at those depots there in the front. Tank is on the way. Reavers have landed. Reavers can safely hit the bunker behind the wall. Zealots are going in now as the bunker is about to go down. He knows he can just go for it. Marines are coming in from the back to the front. Medics are following as well. And we've got more bunkers being built there behind the wall. Light is microing this very well, going back and forth, making sure the Zealots will not hit his Marines and making sure the Reavers will not kill too many Marines either. But Light is at the moment currently spliced. But the tank is finished, tank is there in the back, but there's a Dragoon there in the mix as well. Reavers are being picked up into the shuttle, flying to the top side. He's trying to clear out the turrets to clear out a path for the shuttles, but he might not have enough time. The scan there on the hill is absolutely brilliant. Clears out the shuttle there with the scan, knowing the shuttle is there up on the hill, flying into the turrets, and the turrets kill the shuttle. Now the Zealots there getting cleared out as well. We've got more units here in the front. There's a Reaver inside that shuttle, getting some tower damage. The Marine there on the front as well. Marines are quickly blocking the access path to the drones, to the SCVs there for that shuttle. Zealots are coming in there in the front as well. He's trying to rebuild a new wall. He unloads, but oh, he's gonna kill the Reaver there, stays alive, shuttle stays alive as well. Zealots are going right back in. Reavers is hitting on the Marines, but the Marines are staying alive. The Marines are dancing back and forth. This is a lot of exceptional micro action coming in from both players. You can tell they are somewhat evenly matched, but that move from Light with the hill there was absolutely insane. I've not yet seen that done before. To use the scan on the hill to provide vision for the turrets to kill the shuttle and deny the 2 Reavers altogether. Goes in there, the Marines are getting split up pretty well. The shuttle is still Reaver microing, and the Zealots are getting on top of the Marines, but it looks like this is a one fight for Light as the tanks are in the back to provide a lot of work, and the micro is absolutely amazing there for Light, keeping those Marines alive and safe. Light mostly just has insane positioning with his units. He places his units in such smart ways and setups that it's very hard for HamburgerSasu to really get anything going. While all was happening though, while HamburgerSasu was fighting that hard, he built a Templar's Archive, added on 2 more gateways, adding on even more gateways there to spend his money. He's almost supply stuck, he's getting more pilots there as well. He has 4 robots here in the front now, getting a number 5 there as well, and he's mostly just focusing on getting a big ass drop there to get the fight going. But there's now 2 raids here for Light to take down shuttles as they fly in or try to micro here in the front, and he will have more raids very soon as well to keep those shuttles out and kill the shuttles as they come in or fly across the map. Or you can even use those raids to hunt for shuttles as they leave the base or as they're still in the base. He's got a lot of options with those raids, but do note HamburgerSasu is adding some Corsairs into the mix. Even though the Corsairs are mostly built for the purpose of assisting the shuttles with flying over the turrets and forcing the Terran to focus fire on the shuttles, otherwise they would be attacking the Corsairs instead of the shuttles if he just moves them in with the stim upgrade. But he's preparing himself for a massive drop. He's going for Archons because he doesn't have Storm Upgrade finished yet, although I do believe Storm Upgrade would finish right about the time he was entering the Light's base. But he's going for, I'm 100% sure he's gonna go for a Command Center Snipe attempt. But Light just comes in with a scan just in time, although because the replay observer thing isn't really that well optimized, we can't see it leaving, but I'm sure he saw those shuttles leaving. So he's bracing himself for impact. He probably knows that the shuttles are coming from the top side there because he saw those shuttles leave towards the top side of the map. So he's putting his Marines there in position ready to snipe. He does not yet have vision on top of the hill from buildings, but he does have raids. So the raids are providing him with the vision he needs. But, well, will it be enough? That is the question. He's coming in hot. Shuttles are stacked on top of each other, making it very hard to snipe individual shuttles, but he's going to come in. Marines are moving. He's unloading it on the top corner, far away from the tanks, and he's got to clear out a lot of stuff here, but he'll just lose a Reaver there before it gets to be shut off. And he's just going to clear out this top corner there, and Light is going to have a really hard time moving in. The Archons are keeping those Wraiths away, even though the Wraiths want to kill the Reavers. The Archons, though, are overstepping and not staying close to the Reavers, and once those Archons are down, those Wraiths can go in, kill the Reavers, and Light will be completely fine. He's also removing and relocating his tanks to the corner so they can start hitting the Reavers and the units there on the low ground. But he cleared the stop side, cleared a lot of units, and cleared a couple of depots and armories and SCVs there working on those buildings. But he doesn't get as much done as I would have hoped, but he's now coming in from the bottom side here as well, and this one will go all the way, although Light is responding very, very quickly there, trying to snipe shuttles before they arrive on the scene. Templars are loaded, but he flies away with the SCVs, but he gets a lot of SV kills there because the storm is covering such a huge area, and because a lot of SCVs there are getting stuck behind the barracks somehow. He does clear it all out eventually, but I do think he lost about 30 SCVs there in that entire process, which is kind of painful considering he only has 40 of them left, and a lot of them are strewn about the base there in the bottom corner there, and units in the bottom corner are clearing out those turrets there as well. So HamburgerSasu is getting a lot done, and Light is suddenly looking pretty weak. But he can recover, because do note the Wraith count is pretty high. Got 7 raids and 2 more are on the way. So if he keeps tabs on when those shuttles are leaving the base, he will be able to shut them down and kill them before they arrive in the base. But at the moment, HamburgerSasu has no shuttles, so he's taking some time, and that time is really something that Light needs. He needs the time to recover. If this attack had come out sooner, Light would have been in some real trouble. But now he has some time to recover his worker count, get new shuttles, turrets on the side, and get more raids into the mix as well. And defending will be a little bit easier. But a frontal attack is coming in here on Light. He flies right in. He loses a couple of shuttles there before they maximally unload. But the Zealots behind the wall there clear out the tanks, which means that now the Zealots here in the front can clear out these depots and try to overrun Light. But the damage from the bunkers is pretty high because he does have that level 1 weapon upgrade and armor upgrade there as well, whereas HamburgerSasu only has level 2 weapon upgrade. But he's getting through, he's killing the Marines, he's killing the bunkers, and he's getting pretty good damage down here. Killed the wall, killed a lot of units, but the tanks that came from the back to the front and the raids that are assisting managed to keep HamburgerSasu from dealing any real long-lasting damage. But do note, of course, this does cost Light money, because he has to rebuild those Marines, rebuild the bunkers, rebuild the depots, rebuild turrets, he supply stacked as well. But he is staying alive for now, and will for a little while longer. And while all that was happening, we're now looking at a HamburgerSasu that has 12, 15, 18, and another 6, for a total of 26 gateways, of which a couple are still on the way. 2 Stargates there as well, and he's getting upgrades for every single type of gateway unit upgrade. So we'll be looking at level 3 weapon, level 1 armor, level 1 shield. He's got air upgrades on the way as well, both armor and shields. He's got hallucination coming in too. But the raids there have spotted out that this top corner is going to be the point of contention, because we're building piles there, but it's actually coming in from the bottom side. So it went for 2 drops at the same time, and the distraction attempt there actually is paying off. Light responds a little bit slow, but he pulls his SCVs to safety, and he dodges the storms just barely, but does lose about 20 SCVs there, and he loses a bunch of SCVs to a tank shot there in the end as well. Very painful there for him. Light did clear out the second drop that was going to be coming in from the top corner, so he at least managed to stop that, but the damage has been done. Will Light be able to prevent HamburgerSasu from breaking through and spamming out attacks and, well, really put the hurt on Light? Because Light does have a lot of SCVs left there strewn about his base, 46 about of them. He doesn't really need to have any gas income at the moment because he has 1200 gas. But most important thing is HamburgerSasu has to keep throwing out stuff. But the raids there intercept the shuttles and they kill shuttles there one shot at a time. But the storm comes down on the raids and the raids have to run away. But the raids there staying alive just barely. Look at them, 13 HP on the raids. All these raids are on low HP, and Light at the moment cannot yet afford to replace those raids because his income is still recovering from it hit from earlier, and he has to rebuild his base quick as he can. Tank drop here coming in though, and this tank drop might just get a hit up on those probes. Both of them are loading. One of them is gonna get a snow shot, comes down on the probes. It was barely killed the tank. Raids once again coming in. He kills most of the shuttles there, but a lot of Templars are loading on the lower, but the Templars go down immediately. And none of the Templars get a shot off on the SCVs. The tanks here in the back doing a great job preventing that from happening. Light is still looking to land a tank drop. He's going to try to go in from two directions at the same time. Will it be enough? The drop is flying out for HamburgerSasu there at the same time as well, as he's building cannons on the sides to deny vision from the sides for Light. HamburgerSasu goes in. The Light goes in with double tank drop, unloading the tanks. Will the tank this time around hit something? All the tanks once again do go down just quick enough. So that means that HamburgerSasu is just enough tanks, well, just enough cannons to prevent the tanks. If Light had gone in with both dropships from this direction and loaded all 4 tanks here, he might have gotten a shot off on the probes. But first, we're looking at a massive drop coming in here on Light. Storm comes down on the SCVs there. He loses about 18 SCVs there. So he is dodging with the SCVs, but he didn't have all his SCVs hotkeyed, so he couldn't send all the SCVs to safety. And once again, it has his worker count reduced from about 50 to 36 or 37. Light is having a tough game against those drops specifically. Also lost a lot of structures here on the bottom side of his base. And now even cannons are being built against the wall, and HamburgerSasu is abusing that hole, but he's flying straight into raids and marines. So he winds up losing the shuttles and the units inside those shuttles pretty quickly. So he doesn't really get anything done, but at least those cannons will be finished here, and once those cannons are finished, they can shoot over the wall to kill those turrets there, which is going to make life pretty difficult for Light, unless Light, of course, places some tanks there up against the hill to kill those cannons. HamburgerSasu hasn't really built anything onto his base for a while. He is loading up a drop here, though, while he's waiting for units to spawn. So that means he did lose a lot of his... He lost a lot of his zealots here, a lot of the units on his drop attempts, so he's trying to remax as fast as he can, but it's taken a while. His upgrades, though, are looking very good. 113. Level 2 upgrades just finishing up there for HamburgerSasu. Light is looking at level 114 for his Marines, level 114 for his Air, and level 114 for his tanks, because he cannot afford to get level 2 upgrades. He does have level 2 tank upgrades there on the way, though. He can barely afford it, but he's having a really tough time staying afloat with his very low income and his very low mineral count. We're also looking at a frontal attack coming in here from HamburgerSasu, although there's quite some tanks here in the front, and a small wall, but the upgrades means these units are not going to have much trouble. He's loaded on the hill there to take care of the tanks. He's loaded past the bunkers there as well to make sure he can kill everything that's behind the wall. And he does so with some great storms. The Raid's still dodging the storms, but given the tanks behind the wall have gone down, the Zealots and Dragoons are getting through with ease. And now Light is forced to pull his units from the back to the front and siege up his tanks in between the factories, which is actually really hard to fight through for HamburgerSasu. Defending with all these little choke points for Light is really easy to do. But a lot of Dragoons and tanks coming in. Another stream of units is being produced there in the base, so this is going to be really difficult for Light to stay afloat. His worker count has more or less recovered. He has a lot of SCVs back on the gas as well, but he's only on 7 factories, which is not that many. He has to rebuild the frontal wall as fast as he can if he wants to buy himself some time, but it looks like those units from HamburgerSasu are coming in quicker than Light can handle at the moment. There's have tanks up on the hill, though, clearing out those cannons on the bottom side, which might also assist in defending against these units coming in from the front. Very quickly putting tanks up on the hill there. Great move. It was exactly what he had to do. Units are walking in deeper and deeper, trying to get on top of the tanks here on the side, but the tanks here up on the hill are simply doing too much work. And Light will stay alive for a little while longer as more tanks and vultures are spawning. He has mine upgrade as well, so he's going to play his mine upgrade on the way. He hasn't finished yet. He's building a wall as fast as he can. Another drop is flying here on the top side. Raids are not in position. Raids are moving to the front, to the wrong direction actually, to kill a Corsair. And now the drop is coming in from the right side the left side, and is making it all the way. Storm comes down. Storm's hitting every SCV that he had there. Go SCVs in the top corner, but those are going to go down as well. Down to 26 SCVs, only on 600 minerals. And the game is looking very grim and dark for Light, because that's the last thing he wanted to happen. He moved his air defense to the wrong place to kill a Corsair. And it came back to haunt him really, really badly. Really badly. But at the moment though, he has enough tanks and vultures to stay afloat for a little while longer. And HamburgerSasu is mostly focused on spending his minerals as fast as he can to attack as fast as he can with the gateway units and shuttles, so he cannot transition into carriers, for example, which I do think is something he needs. Because those tanks behind the wall here are doing a great job, and the vultures are simply clearing out. No, actually, the upgrades on those zealots are doing a great job of helping those units get on top of the tanks. Getting in there, walking through the wall, tanking up on the hill has done a lot of work. 5 kills for that one. This one has 5 as well. And these tanks here have 8 and 7, so the hill tanks are doing tremendous amounts of work. Couple more tanks being loaded up on the hill. This one is going to load you on the hill to kill this tank. So that heroic tank is losing its life there as well. 10 tank kills on that tank there. Drop comes in once again. These units are not on the right spot on the map, and the Templars are actually unloading. The SCVs are running away. Gets a storm off on. Well, he gets a couple of SCV kills because the SCVs are turned around. Quite painful. But that's the least damage that Light could have taken from that drop. So great move there to pull the raids back to kill the Templar before it could storm here. Forcing HamburgerSasu to storm well closer to where the Templar itself was. So no time given to walk to location. Bolton is killing the gateway there in the front because it's blocking his stuff. He isn't really building anything on the map because he knows he just has to keep up pressure instead of giving Light time to recover. That's why there's so little being built on the map and so much being thrown at attacking and invested into trying to finish off Light. Which I think is going to be working very soon, because the drop's coming in from the top side. He's flying over the turrets, going straight for the SCVs as the air defense is on the wrong location once again. But it's mostly zealous. There's a Templar in there. One Templar gets a storm off, but mostly he actually gets 6 kills or 7 kills there on those SCVs there. He's going to kill Stuffer in the back as well, because those zealots are so strong. And there's Marines in the bunkers, but the Marines are only on 1-1 upgrade, so they don't really pose much of a threat. As you can see right here, the zealots take almost no damage whatsoever from those bunkers, so the vultures are moving to the back to clear out those zealots by posing a threat. He's clearing out a lot of turrets on the side as well with those zealots, and he's going for the armories as well. Zealots are strong with level 3 upgrades, and the defending units from Light are lacking those same upgrades because the entire game through he has lacked the money to get any of those upgrades really. Shuttles once again coming in, shuttles arriving on the scene. Shuttles are not going down because they're too strong for those ships defending. Only 4 SCVs left there for Light. This is looking disastrous. He clears out all the units that are low eventually, but he's only on 190 minerals and 17 SCVs, and I don't think he can take any more of these devastating blows to his economy or his base any longer. Because look at this, a lot of stuff has gone down in his base. He lost bunkers here, turrets, everything is going down. And the most important thing is he's losing SCVs and he's losing units, and he can no longer replace them because he doesn't have any money. Tanks are up on the hill are doing a great job with killing units on the low ground, but the real threat is these shuttles coming in with their upgrades being too tanky for those Valkyries to take down within a couple of shots. Templar once again unloads there next to the SCVs, and if he's going down, and this is the game. Light calls GG, and HamburgerSasu comes out on top within 23 minutes and 32 seconds and proves that he does have what it takes to kill Light on fastest map. Even though Light played really well in the first 10 minutes, he is not washed up. He's not able to stand up. That's the word I'm looking for. He's not able to stand up against those drops from HamburgerSasu, which are pretty accurate. And the method of attacking for HamburgerSasu to mix it all up with frontal and side attacks, and the frequency of them all, that's the main key point. The frequency of his attacks are very high. Basically, never given a moment to rest and recover to his opponent, which once again goes to prove that if you have the moves, the mechanics, and the speed to spam out attacks, it is the better option than building cannons everywhere on the map. Because building cannons everywhere on the map, or just building a lot of gateways or a lot of anything on the map, means that your opponent gets time to build as well, because time spent building is time not spent attacking. And that is one of the few valuable things I learned here from HamburgerSasu. He focuses on attacking, much less on building, although he does have a lot of buildings here in his base. But do note he had all of this already at 12 or 13 minutes into the game. So he never spent much time wasting his actions on things he didn't need. So what he needed was attacking. Anyway, that's game 1. We've got a second game there in the shoot as well. So let's move over to game number 2, see how that one's going to pan out. Because I'm quite curious to see what Light has in store for us in game number 2. And we're back. Light on the white Zerg, at the bottom corner of the map, against HamburgerSasu, this time playing the Terran. So we've got a Terran versus Zerg once again. We have very recently actually had Light play against JH in this exact same matchup where Light was on the Zerg. A very long game, I think it was about 54 minutes long, maybe even 58 minutes long. It was a very exciting game to watch, a lot of action, a lot of great thinking from Light. And I'm wondering to see if he's going to put that same great mind of his to use in this game. Because I do think that this is a little bit more of a balanced matchup than Protoss versus Terran. Although, I'll also be honest, as of recently I'm starting to believe that the top Terrans for fastest map actually have a better chance of winning than the Protoss. Because the top Terrans are just insanely good at playing Terran against Protoss and defending, and then having a really great timed counter attack that the Protoss just doesn't seem to be prepared for. So Light there playing a non-choke Zerg is a very interesting thing here. He did it in the last time as well, so I think he pretty much always plays a choke Zerg. A pretty early pull here though, and 2 sunken colonies coming out there as well. And the lair already on the way, so on 11 drones. Not a lot of drones there for minerals, but he needs that very quick lair tech, I assume, for whatever strategy he's going for. Only 2 barracks for HamburgerSasu kind of worries me a little bit. So that means that he doesn't really have a sufficient amount of units to try and punish or capitalize on his build order from Light. Light is adding on more sunkens here in the front to keep his front alive. Hydra's then coming in there as well. We've got a factory now coming in for HamburgerSasu. We have Academy finished, getting Stim upgrade, getting a second gas, no extra command center, so his income won't really go up fast. It will go up steadily but slowly, and he'll probably arrive on about, I think, 50 SCVs, right around the 10 or maybe 10-30 mark into the game. Likewise, Light here is, well, his drone count can progress a little bit quicker, theoretically speaking, because he's a Zerg, but he's going to need units. And he's got Lurker aspect already on the way. He's not going for a Spire, he's mostly just going for Lurkers, and we will probably be seeing Zerglings as well. But first, the high list, of course. Usually, a lot of players like to mix their Lurkers up with a couple of Zerglings and Zergling speed. But he needs those high lists first, and then he needs to start morphing those Lurkers, and then he can start getting the Zergling speed upgrade and Zerglings to combine them with. HamburgerSasu did some smart scouting there with a single Marine. Medic is going to heal that one up. He's looking for an opening into Light's little corner here. Is he going to get in there or not? Honestly, this game looks very familiar to me. Maybe I'm just seeing things. Yeah, he can't go in. He realizes the fire bats don't really do much. There's too many sunkens there as well. The Lurker aspect is about to finish. He's got Queen's Nest there on the way as well. Well, yeah, the reason this looks so familiar is because this is the exact same build order that Light did against JH a little while back. Lurkers are morphing, Spires on the way. We'll soon be seeing a Hive as well. As soon as he can afford it, of course, because at the moment he cannot yet afford it. He needs a little bit more gas. There is the Hive coming in. HamburgerSasu just setting and balling opportunities here in the front in order to keep tabs on Light, what he's doing. Got a factory there finished. Siege mode almost finished as well. There's a starport for vessels because he needs a science facility as well for the vessels. So he's getting both of them in conjunction with each other. We have an engineering bay there for upgrades and for turrets, but no turrets have been built yet. Yeah, the game is looking fine. Light is trying to push back those marines, but HamburgerSasu is not letting himself get pushed back too quickly. He's only stepping back tiny bit by tiny bit, forcing Light to unburrow time and time again. Light very wisely spacing out his lurkers just at a perfect distance. So it's going to be hard for HamburgerSasu to get through. Because all the options are pretty much covered. There's a tiny little space here you can go through on the side, but then he couldn't achieve anything here in the base whatsoever. So Light is going to get a very, very quick hive. Spire is finished, 2 more hatcheries there on the way. HamburgerSasu is setting up there in the back, sieging up his tanks, and we will likely be seeing vessels soon arriving on the scene as well. He's got a radiate on the way too, to radiate drones, or of course a defiler or the lurkers themselves. We're not seeing a defiler. Oh, there's the defiler mount. Just as I was about to mention the lack of defiler mount, he makes one. So we're thinking the same thing here. He knows he needs it. He's not going for a great aspire, he's mostly just going to focus on scorches for those vessels and the filer lurker to get those lurker swarms encroached onto HamburgerSasu's half of the map. HamburgerSasu did lose an overlord there though, which is very painful because it's going to slow him down a little bit. He's getting Zerking upgrades now as well, Zerking speed first and Zerking attacks. He's going to go for a ground force. Very slowly getting pushed back there with the vision from that vessel. The tanks are encroaching closer and closer. He has to use those tanks, not the marines, because the marines would go down to those lurkers a little bit too quick. So he has to unsiege, siege up, unsiege, siege up, move closer and closer. And soon he's going to go for that radiate on drones there as well. But Scorch have finished right about the same time as the vessel wants to go in. But Scorches get taken down by the marines, and at the same time, he loses a couple of marines there to the lurker, so that's a pretty greedy move, but he does kill a lurker there in the end. Maybe even 2 lurkers he killed. So more scorches have finished, ready to take down and protect the drones from the vessel, maybe even hunt the vessel to get the detection out of the way. The fighter has spawned there in the back. Consume is still on the way. HamburgerSasu is moving closer and closer, very, very slowly but surely. Scorches keep going back and forth, trying to get on top of the vessel, but never really getting there. HamburgerSasu is staying very aware, although is he going to do it? He almost kills that one vessel. One Scorch managed to hit, and now he has 2 vessels, and now he can go for the drones, but he kills... Oh, he irradiates the... Alright, he had burrow upgrade finished up, so we can protect the drones there from the radiate. Kills the vessel there first. Marines are going in there for the attack. He gets a Dark Swarm down just within a nick of time. Otherwise, the Defiler would have gone down, and losing the Defiler would have absolutely been the end there for Light, as he wouldn't have a Defiler to use Lurker Swarm. Now he's going to push his Lurkers up to the top side here and get a Dark Swarm there for the Lurkers and keep those Marines and tanks way out of space. And Light is looking pretty fine here, pretty good. Looking pretty good. He can hold this for a while. All he has to do is make sure he doesn't lose drones to the vessels and make sure his defilers don't get taken down either. But up until then, it's going to be a pretty tough game here for Light, because he still can never afford to get some downtime on his Dark Swarms. He's moving forward there with the Dark Swarm, but there comes a radiate, but Light burrows up immediately, doesn't lose any of his drones, takes out a vessel there though. Lurkers are pushing back against the tanks. Gonna get some swarms down on top of the tanks, maybe even. Nope, he decides against it. He instead decides to set up a lurker swarm there. The Zergans are tanking the tank shots, taking tank fire for the lurkers to move forward, and the pushback is happening slowly but surely. HamburgerSasu has decided to add on another command center, adding on armories now as well. Gets more starports, gets more factories, so he's very slowly ramping up into the next stage of Terran production. I'm looking at 34 drones against 43 SCVs there. Light is on a very low economy build order. He's not getting any extra... Oh, he's going to lose some of his drones. No, he doesn't lose any of his drones, but his drones are low HP there though. Marines are trying to kill and snipe the defilers, and they manage to do so, but they do end up losing their life in the process. And it also means that Light can now progress forward and once again kill a lot of HamburgerSasu units. But another rating comes down, but he gets 6 drone kills there. Because low HP drones didn't get burrowed quick enough. It's very hard to do that though, because it doesn't have a lot of side vision there. So it's very hard to respond to those vessels flying in and radiating his drones. And, well, to burrow them quick enough is very difficult to do. Light, though, trying to recover, trying to get richer, trying to slowly push HamburgerSasu out of his base. But HamburgerSasu is, I think... I wanted to say not gonna let that happen, but it looks like he just did. He just let Light push forward yet again. HamburgerSasu very wisely though, spreading out his tanks as much as he can to make it as hard as possible for Light to encroach on those tanks, because those tanks are all in different locations, which would mean that Light has to pull off several Lurker Swarm maneuvers to push onto all the tanks and clear out all the tanks in his base. Once again, Fezzel comes in there from the top side, and it's radiated drones, but radiated drones are, well, it's only 6 drones there, and they will survive that radiate, but they are on low HP. He clears out a couple of Marines there on the top side, but HamburgerSasu keeps his tanks here alive. HamburgerSasu very slowly getting bigger and bigger as of 4 command centers now. There's more SVs are on the way, still on 5 factories and 6 starports already. He's getting more vessels mostly. Vessels once again coming in here to detect units. He's clearing out this corner here. He's gonna push forward here on top of the last couple of tanks in his base. And now there's nowhere for those tanks to go except away into this choke point there. Once again, another radiator comes down, but this time it's on both the fighters. So we're gonna be looking at a short time of the fighter downtime for Light, but Light has already succeeded in scaring away all the tanks. And there's no detection here at the moment, because the vessels have been sacrificed to try and get radiates down on essential units. But as a result, Light is at the moment safe and sound from harm. And he can build up, get more drones, get more units, and start to prepare himself. Maybe go for a counter-attack, because one thing I do notice this game is HamburgerSasu does not have a lot of factories. Although we're only 12 minutes in, so it's kind of natural. Given he did a low economy build order, is at the moment only on 66 SCVs. He might need a couple, maybe 10 more. Same for Light, he might need about 65, maybe 70 drones if he wants to get big quick and get a lot of units going, a lot of production going, and keep up his macro needs. Overlords are moving out, trying to get vision there of the top side, but there's Valkyries there ready to intercept. There is a dropship here as well to dropship to fly tanks up onto the hill and set up a secure perimeter, which will make life even more difficult for Light. But I kind of believe that Light can do it this time around. He's got Scorches on every side to intercept those vessels. He's got Lurker Swarm here in the front, which he's pushing forward aggressively. There's tanks here past the hill, which will make life pretty difficult because they can shoot past the hill with the vision from this science facility. Clear out the tanks here in the front. Yeah, we're still looking at 6 starports, 6 factories. Number 7 is coming in there on the side. He's mostly getting his upgrades at the moment with his gas. And filling out his base, while also trying to not give up the pressure on Light. But Light looks to be kind of fine at the moment. Also getting spores on the sides there to protect the minerals. Because that's the path that the vessels have to take in order to radiate those drones. Lurker Swarm ends, but there's no detection, luckily. This is looking to be a pretty strong stronghold here on the side. Who uses the scan to detect the lurkers, and he takes them down there and clears them out. But we have some Mulists coming in to clear out the hill here. But there's Valkyries there as well, and turrets behind the hill as well, and Goliaths are streaming in from the front too. He's gonna try to kill the Goliath. No, he decides against it. He pulls back to his base, back to his safety. He has Great Aspire finish, so we can go for Guardians or Devourers. One of the two he will surely go for. Valkyries hunting for something, but finding nothing. Gets another Dark Swarm down there in the front. Valkyries are gonna fly in and sacrifice their life for the vessels to kill the drones. Is he gonna do it? Is he gonna be able to get those drone kills? Flies in, attacks the Morphing Guardians or Devourers there on the side. Light burrows up his drones as quick as he can. Gets a good radiate down on that Mulist there as well. All the Mulists are getting radiated. There's no way to split those Mulists in time, so he just sacrifices them, forsakes them, and they die. I'm looking at 8 Stargates now. He's mostly just going to focus on a lot of vessels and a very slow and controlled pusher in the front. Once again, more Lurkers went down. Light is loading up a mass drop. Loading up a mass drop, but more Valkyries have arrived on the scene. Another vessel here is in the front. He didn't see the Overlords. Oh, did he? Did he see them? He did not see them. Vessel's going for the drones once again. Vessel stays alive. Vessel gets raided off on an egg, not on a drone itself. So he radiated the egg, and Light just cancels the egg. Smart move. So units have been unloaded out of the base, far away from the tanks that are controlling the hill here, which means that now Light can clear out all these turrets on the low ground and try to kill those tanks there as well, but the tanks are too great in number, so he's not going to succeed on that one. Valkyries are now hunting for Overlords. Overlords going down pretty darn quick. Valkyries on the fastest map are so painful to play against. But Light is looking to be in a fine condition at the moment. Growing bigger, slowly but surely. Waiting on Overlords at the moment though, before he can progress into the next stage. He has an Ultimates Cavern. He's got upgrades there on the way as well for his units. Level 1-1. Level 1-0 for his Hydralisks. HamburgerSasu now on 10 factories. And yeah, those 8 starports we mentioned before. Those upgrades are looking really fine and dandy as well. 1-1, he's got level 2-2 on the way for everything he can produce. All except his air. His air, he doesn't want air upgrades, it appears. It's on 1-1 though. He can afford 2-2, but he's not yet going for it. Light is going to invest into more spores on every single side of his base, because he needs to keep those vessels and Valkyries away. HamburgerSasu is going to push in through the front here with those tanks set up behind the hills so they're safe. So he's actually just going for a pure containment measure and try to keep Light small in his base. Setting up tanks up on the hill as well, which Light is going to have to kill with lurkers burrowing up next to the hill under a Dark Swarm, but it's going to be pretty tough to do. He's getting more Scorchers there as well. He's going to fight there in the back, but the vessels coming in from the front there as well, and Scorchers are not yet ready to intercept them. And this time around, Light is, once again, just quick enough with burrowing drones to avoid them from dying. And the hill is being cleared out very slowly as well, but it's taking a lot of investment here. He does have Mulisk spawning, ready to go for the attack on those tanks. Tanks are on low HP, so we'd only take a couple of shots from those Mulisks, but mass vessels coming in here from the top side once again. It's 7 vessels there in total, ready to kill some drones. Light is having a really tough time against those vessels. Yeah, vessels are just very annoying. And HamburgerSasu has so many starports that he can afford to just spam out vessels and throw them into harm's way just to get those drones while he's slowly building up his factory count here in the base and getting buildings up on the side. He's going for an eraser move. That's almost every single vessel there radiated. Going straight for the... Oh, he has tanks. No tanks in the base. He got tanks on the corner though, and he goes in front of the top side there as well. But at the same time, with all the vessels and the vessels taking down the drones very damn quick, and he kills almost all the drones. He managed to burrow up a group, but I think one group is all he managed to burrow. On 27 drones, he still has 27 minerals, 40 drones, but he has Guardians now as well. And do we still have those Valkyries? No more Valkyries for HamburgerSasu, but Light is currently in a pretty bad condition in terms of how many minerals he has, but he's got to break out here because the vessels just lose all their radiates and there's only a single Goliath. No, I'm wrong, correcting myself, 5 Goliaths. Those Goliaths won't really pose much of a threat. There's number 6. No energy on the vessels. This one doesn't have energy there though. Valkyries just spawn and coming in hot, ready to kick down those Guardians to prevent this containment from being erased from the map. Well, he's doing a pretty good job of killing as much as he can before the Valkyries arrive on the scene. And once again, vessels going in there from the top side, ready to go for the drones, which he just lost. He's using his Scorch to kill a lot of vessels there, but a couple of vessels there make it through. He's going to get all of them. One of them stays alive, and it doesn't arrive on the scene. But more vessels once again going in, and this time under the protection of Valkyries tanking the spores. Light burrows up his drones here just in time, though, just quick enough. He's going to lose a couple of them there, though. Well, 2 or 3. He's doing a great job there keeping his drones alive, but all the abuse and harass from HamburgerSasu might just be too much to handle. He's moving in here on the front. Use that lurker swarm. Quick. Use the swarm. Use the swarm just in time, and the tanks there cannot encroach deeper. Although they have encroached quite a little bit, but as play comes down there on the tank, the vessels once again going for the drones are in the back. The drones are going to get hit this time around. He burrows them up just quick enough once again. Loses no drones once again. And halts it once again, but now he has to try and push forward on these tanks here in the front that are under the protection of those tanks that are past the hill. It's going to be a pretty tough job for him to do, but he is going to have to try. Because the longer this goes on, the further and deeper HamburgerSasu will approach and encroach into Light Space, who's having a really difficult time there holding this off. But HamburgerSasu is playing this very, very smart, and HamburgerSasu even just goes in with his Goliath on the top corner because there's nothing in the top corner to protect him, so he's going to move his tanks up in the corner there as well. He's getting the Dark Swarm down there. He's putting Hylids under the Dark Swarm, but Hylids are not protected from tank fire by the Dark Swarm, so this is pretty painful as well. He's going to lose some Overlords there too, that single Valkyrie there too, although it's going to go down just before it gets any kills. Dark Swarms are being extended. He's getting a Dark Swarm there down in the top corner. Eventually, he's going to clear out those Goliaths and maybe those tanks there as well. We've got more vessels once again going in with an Eraser move straight for those drones while Lurkers are burrowing up there in the front. He's pushing in the front there, but he's going to have to focus on his drones in the back. He burrows his drones just in time once again, but he does lose about 20 of them in the end. And he lost a lot of Overlords there as well to those Valkyries there. Those Valkyries are the absolute meanest bitches, meanest son of a bitches, making life so hard for Light. And I don't think Light is in a position to stay alive much longer, because once again the vessels are going in and radiating the drones just as they unburrow, and this time around he is not losing them once again. No, he lost about 10 of them. And another vessel goes in, ready to kill those drones. Is he gonna do it? Nah, he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. Light is somehow still managing to hold on for now, but the game I think is going to come to a close because he doesn't have the minerals nor does he have the units to keep HamburgerSasu out for any longer. Once again, the vessels coming in there through the front. HamburgerSasu is absolutely savage this game. He's doing so many different things there at the same time with so much focus, and Light is staring at 4 vessels hanging above his drones, and they don't have the energy, not yet, but they will very soon. But Light has to focus on the front first. More vessels once again coming in there from the top side. What an abuse. Those drones are never getting a break. Goes in, kills a bunch of them. Most of the drones are burrowed up though, but I think he has 12 vessels here inside of HamburgerSasu's base. Well, not only 8, a couple of them died. Scorch are spawning there as well, so he's going to have to take down these vessels here below very quick. But also he's going to have to hold the front here with his Lurker Swarm, but it's taking so much of his attention to take care of those vessels. And this time around, still only loses a couple. Oh, he unburrows them, reburrows them. There's still a vessel here below. More vessels once again coming in. He's never getting a break. And I'm never getting a break from talking about vessels abusing those drones. Light calls the GG, leaves the game. He knows he lost pretty convincingly as well. It did take HamburgerSasu 23 minutes and 23 seconds, but 23 minutes and 23 seconds to get it done. And Light really fought well, but that was just so damn hard to fight into. So damn hard. So yeah, that's game number 2. HamburgerSasu wins once again, and we all know how this game went, which is pure vessel radiate abuse while setting up a great container on the sides that Light couldn't really break through. He couldn't really break through. It was close a couple of times, but then the vessels would come in and just make life hell. And the hellish life, oh, it's a painful one. And Light eventually taps out and gives HamburgerSasu the win. So thanks for watching. This was a set of games from somewhere in July of 2019, so already more than a year old, but some pretty high quality game. Really well played. Thanks for watching. Leave a subscribe, and don't forget to like, or whatever you want to do. Leave a comment, do what you want to do, you have the power, and hope to see you back next time, once again, for some Starcraft fastest map on Brood War. Sayonara.